This is a story about a girl, aged 8, standing tall on a podium in a triumphant state. 2 gold medals? Really? Me? Maybe there was something to this thing, karate, so I kept up my lessons. I practiced after school until one day it stopped being cool. At the turn of the millennium, I was 14 and figuring out what type of girl I wanted to be. So I take a good hard look at all the girls around me. There were the nerdy girls. Well, they were probably lonely and depressed. There were the rich girls. Well, I couldn't be one of them. There were the bitch girls. Well, that wasn't my style. Which girl, I thought, is most likely to smile? Hot girl. Hot girls have the most fun. You can't be hot and lonely when all is said and done. So 14-year-old me, I set off on my life's goal. I knew I could be worthy of belonging if only I could fill that role. And was there anyone in the world telling me otherwise? In the year 2000 in girl world, your value was your size. The shininess of hair, the fullness of lips, the perfection of breasts and legs and hips. My body was something I wanted boys to want to see. My body was something I wanted girls to want to be. It existed for others, but sadly, not for me. So the boys would smack and grab and squeeze, but because I was hot girl, I existed to please. Meanwhile, a group of women, far wiser than me, were planting a seed that is now a tree, showing the world what women can be. They looked around at the world, they looked at girls like me, and they saw so much more than what I could then see. They taught martial arts, but they still wanted more, so they dug deep inside and opened a whole new door. They started imparting a deeper wisdom to others through their journeys as women, as black belts, as mothers. That girls can be more than an object, a toy. That they should put themselves first before any boy. That every girl and woman, sweet or sour, has an immense, unrevealed inner power. In walks the girl, now 24 years old, and still believing everything about self-defense that she had previously been told. That there's only one way, that there's only one right, that there's only one type of fight, the type of fight that men enact when they brawl. Jackie Chan, Chuck Norris, and Steven Seagal. Oh, how I began to change. When I walked into the door of this center, my life would never be the same. What they taught wasn't karate and it wasn't Krav Maga. It belonged to a whole other world of drama. The types of battles that women actually face. The real reason we all carry mace. And speaking of mace, and black belts, and gold medals, were they there when men on the street shamelessly stared? When a stranger, as I passed on the street, spewed vulgar filth at me like I was a piece of meat? Were they there when at a family dinner with a bunch of people I was supposed to be able to trust, a friend's grandfather accidentally stumbled and groped my bust? When the man on the bus was harassing and touching and I looked to my male peers and they did nothing? You say 1 out of 3 women experience similar situations? How much longer are women going to sit back and take these aggravations? The statistic for rape is 1 out of 5, and you expect girls and women to thrive? Here's what ESD taught me. You can go on being hot girl, or the warrior that 8-year-old girl wanted to be. Your body is not a sexual goal. You don't have to fill that role. Your hips are a weapon built so strong, they can send a body flying if you ever feel that it's wrong. Your voice, yes, the same one that's been interrupted, spoken for, and drowned out, can save your life if you will it to shout. You don't have to be a good girl sitting in class anymore because your voice is a weapon that can shake others to the core, or that can simply and firmly assert that you don't want what's going on here without worrying that his feelings might get hurt. The word no, is that something girls and women are even allowed to say? Well, they don't really mean no, do they? No means try again in a while. After all, she gave me that smile. That no is nothing a few drinks can't fix, and while I'm at it, why don't I just add a little ketamine powder to the mix? In the new world that we our building. No means no! Why? Because I freaking said so. Some say there's nothing that a girl could do. She would just be overpowered, and they believe that's true. But I've seen it with my own eyes every time a girl takes down a 200-pound male. I laugh and I clap because they said she would fail. Through workshops, classes, programs, and lectures, I've seen some of the weakest people break through some of the toughest barriers. Why haven't you heard their stories? Well, the media doesn't give success stories very much attention. But they know, and we know. Because what we're doing is holistic violence prevention. Teaching girls just karate and Krav Maga doesn't make sense. We need to start first and foremost with empowerment, self-defense. Oh, and by the way, do I still want to feel beautiful? Yes, definitely. But there's a big difference now. It's not for them, it's for me. And it's what I'm imparting to my daughter as she figures out what type of girl she wants to be. Thank you so much for listening to my story. And I just want to say that I wrote that poem back in 2015. Since then, the world has changed a lot, but sadly, I'm still hearing story after story, and it's not changed nearly enough. So I am still teaching empowerment, self-defense to as many people as I can, especially teen girls. And now it is through my own business, Queen Rise Self-Defense. And I just would be doing you a disservice if I did not speak about some of the incredible women who got me to this place and inspire me and continue to inspire me today. First and foremost is Sunny, Ariella, Levy, my kickboxing teacher, Taekwondo champion, self-defense, and yoga extraordinaire, who looked at me before she headed back to the United States and said, Jackie, you could teach this class. Why don't you take it over for me? And planted that little nugget of belief in me that spurred the entire rest of my career. Also, Judith Siddickman, Adi, and Hannah Weinberger. Thank you for watching me stumble through the first few years of teaching self-defense and believing in me and continuing to believe in me and giving me second, third, fourth, and sometimes fifth chances until I finally got really good at it. I would not be here without you. To my former business coach, Steph Crowder, she is the first woman who planted the seed in me that women like me can succeed in business. Where would I be and what would the world look like without women like you paving the way for the women who are on your heels right behind you? Women like you push the world to evolve into a more loving, more compassionate, more equal and fair place, and never stop. Thank you so much.